Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick session live. I don't know where this is going, but something quite amazing happened to me. So my story is that I've always had a weight problem since my mum died when I was 13, and I've been a yo-yo dieter all my life basically. And since I started dowsing, a transformation inside me has occurred, and my beings told me that I would be fit and stuff like that, and I was going to go out jogging because it was in my dossier, and I was just like, I've never ever been like that ever. I just can't see it happening. Anyway, tonight's something. By the way, I've kind of gone down about 3 or 4 dress sizes in the last year since I've been doing this, and I've changed my eating habits. I'm practically a vegan now. I'm not saying that I'm always really perfect because I'm not, but that's what I mainly eat a plant-based diet. And what's quite interesting is I've tried these things before, and I've never ever been able to stick to them ever. They've been a fad for me, and for some reason I seem to be able to do it without much effort, put it that way. So tonight I went to Boxercise. About 3 or 4 days ago, I went jogging, and I didn't do a lot of jogging. I'd done sort of about 5 minutes in total, maybe a little bit longer, and I was just doing it for 30 seconds every time I got out of breath. I'd go a little while every time I got out of breath. I would start, walk for a bit, and then I'd try and remember to do. So I'd done maybe 5-10 minutes in about an hour and a half's walk. Anyway, for the last few days, my legs have been really aching as if I have done a really hard workout. I only done about 5 or 10 minutes. And tonight I went to Boxercise, and to my surprise, they were faffing around with music because the Wi-Fi wasn't connecting. And they said, run around. And now I've never ever liked exercise. It's just not been my thing. I've always been that person. I had a blister because of the running I did. I had a blister on my back, and I still went. I would have used that as an excuse to get out of it years ago, or even until recently, to be honest. And so they're faffing around with the music, and to my surprise, I just kept running and running and running, and this probably went on for about 5 or 10 minutes, and at no point did I think, oh, come on. And I can only go from my previous experiences of what my mindset has been like in all of my existence. It's always been, can't wait for this to be over, please stop this now. And to my surprise, I just kept running and running and running and running until they found like a playlist or something. Anyway, we got on with the session. Did I do every single point? No, there was a couple of points where I had to rest. But when the end of the session happened, I thought, okay, well, that wasn't so bad. I could have probably done more. If I'm entirely honest, I could have probably kept going. It was a 45-minute exercise session. And I just thought, that wasn't really bad. So I've decided that I'm going to do a dowsing session on it, just because I'm curious to know what changes have happened to me since I've been doing this, because of all of these things I've previously tried time and time again, and I've never ever enjoyed them or stuck to them or found them a pleasurable experience or something that I ever want to do again. And what has kind of changed in me, I don't know what's changed in me. All I can say is that I'm finding the things that I used to avoid, dread, have fear over, are just not bothering me as much, and I just seem to be fitter and healthier, just without the willpower and without the effort, really. Obviously, Spirit tell me to do things, or they don't tell me to do things. I ask Spirit what it is that I should do, and they point me to stuff. And at the end of the day, I have a choice as to whether I follow their advice or not. And since I've been following their advice, my life has transformed for the better. And I'm just kind of curious. I can only go on my results. I can only go on how I feel and the things that I've experienced. What's different this time round as opposed to my entire existence, and how I'm not struggling anymore. So yeah, I'm going to try and find out, because something's definitely happened. And I get physical changes in me, and I don't mean just like, I notice energy. I have electrical currents running through me. It's just, I can't even describe what's happening to me, because it sounds off the wall and crazy and completely bizarre. But I know what I'm experiencing. Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. Anyway, I feel like I've waffled for too long, so let's see what Spirit's got to say. Okay, Spirit, are you able to describe to me how I have transformed since I've been dowsing? Military. So it's just taken me to reading. Military reading. Okay, this is interesting. So this is a military reading. It says here military trauma, and it's taken me to that. Are we on about post-traumatic stress disorder? Yes. Okay, so is this to do with the military? No. This is to do with post-traumatic stress disorder? Yes. Okay, so basically I had quite a turbulent childhood, and as a result I didn't realise, they told me at the beginning when I started to do this that I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was military people who had been trained to kill, and when I looked deeper into it, I discovered that actually my childhood, because I was constantly living in fear, and my home wasn't a safe space, and I spent my entire childhood walking on eggshells. I didn't realise how much of an impact, I'm sort of feeling emotional now, how much of an impact that has had on me as an adult, and how much that has been carried around with me, basically. So this is to do with post-traumatic stress disorder. Energetic dinosaur. So are we talking about our origins? No. We are talking about our ancestors? Yes. So we're talking about the energy of the dinosaur? No. The energy of Draco. Okay. So for those, this is so cookie, bear with me. So Draco, the extraterrestrials Draco, has inhabited the Earth since before Christ, and we basically live in a gauntlet, really. And most of us struggle with attachments and addictions simply because we live in dark matter. This is the things that I'm picking up over time. It sounds cookie, but it's true. So the energy of Draco is on the planet Earth, which, like I say, that's why we struggle. Most people struggle in some ways to get rid of their troubles and their attachments. Energetic, generational. You just took me to the top of a head? No. You just took me to crown chakra? No. You just took me to, was it the red part of the rainbow? Yes. So it took me to this here, and it went sort of around this area here. The that is to do with our our root chakra, and our root chakra is about security and stability. And it's the energy of, there's two energies that come through. There's Mars and there's Venus. And the energy of Mars is a dark energy. It's fiery, it's war, it's it's all around war and fire and aggression and alpha. And the energy of Venus is one of love. Now they come from the same, they're kind of almost like the same yin and yang energy. And have I got this right so far? Yes. But it's the energy of Mars. Are you specifically talking about the energy of Mars? No, you're talking about the energy of Venus. So years ago they told, not years ago, sorry, a few months ago they said that the world would be split into two. One would be split into Mars and one would be split into Venus. Venus being the planet of love. So I think what they're saying is that the energy of Venus is coming through. So is the energy of Venus coming through the portals? Yes. Is it coming to everyone? No, it's coming to me. Yes. And is this because I asked to ascend? No. Is this because of my chromosomal origins? Yes. Okay. ET cords in solar plexus. Stop. It's just taking me to traffic light in the red. So ET cords in solar plexus, stop. And it's just taken me to the dagger. Okay, looks like that. ET cords in solar plexus. Have these been stopped? Yes. So these have been cut. Yes. Is this what you were trying to say to me? Yes. So the ET cords have been stopped. So they've been cut because it's just taken me to the dagger. Sometimes I have to know where to put the comma. Okay, so it's just taken me to the wheel. So this is the cycle of life. Yes. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. Yes. The Wheel of Fortune. And that is the fallen angel. Yes. Fallen angel. In Dion. Yes. So it's just taken me to me. In reality. Sacral chakra. So the fallen angel is in my sacral chakra? No, it was in my sacral chakra. Yes. So the sacral chakra is to do with your sort of sexuality and your identity. Okay. And it's mainly your chromosomal identity, your sexuality. Energetic. The energy of me. Destroy. And stop. You've taken me to a seahorse? No. You've taken me to the heart? Yes. Destroy love? No. Destroy empty heart? Yes. Fragmented soul? No. Fragmented manifestation? No. Fragmented magic? In family? Is this in my family? Yes. So it's just taken me to the symbol of witchcraft. So this suggests to me that witchcraft can be used for good purposes, but it can also be used for bad purposes. And it's specifically about language. I mean, there's lots of things it's about, but it's about the spelling that we use, i.e. the language that we use. And if you grow up in a house where the language is very derogatory all the time and is aimed at putting you down, and we just accept it, really. You know, I've had to do a real dark night of the soul in thinking about the language that I used to think was appropriate and just something that happened. And now that I've done a lot of shadow work, I realise just how awful accepting being degraded is. And lots of people do accept being degraded because it's just a culture thing. You just kind of accept being taken the piss out of, accept being put down. And actually, that creates our reality because that becomes our belief system, which becomes our reality. Yeah, I've had to do a lot of changing my beliefs around that, to be honest. And you know, it was just, I think about the language that my abusers used, and it was constant. It was just, there was just never any positive. There were some positive messages, but literally every sentence that was said in an aggressive, nasty, derogatory way, and it was just the way it was. You know, it was just the way it was, and I can see how bad that is now that I've done a lot of shadow work. Cords, and it's just taken me to the dragon. Cords to dragon. Are we talking about the angelic dragons? No, we're talking about another dragon. Yes. So each angel has its own dragon assigned, but they're talking about something else. So cords to dragon. Energy cords to dragon. Cash, abundant. Yeah, it's just taking me to the abundance sign. Energy cords to dragon, abundant. And the dragons are the protectors of the realms. They can go throughout the realms, and they are the protectors of the realms. Energy cords to dragon is abundant. Spells. And it's just taken me to the owl. And the owl it can be used as sacrifice, but it's what the Illuminati and all of the dark people on the planet they worship Moloch, I guess, and they go and they do like a ceremony, and the owl is their symbol that they use. So, and they create spells on the, I know it sounds really cookie, but they create spells on the entire planet so that we're kept in a state of fear and war, and thinking that going to war with each other is acceptable, and being a fighter is acceptable, and being competitive is acceptable, and all of these things that we just think is acceptable and part of life. You know, they create spells for this. Is this true? Yes. Occult. Draco. Occult dinosaur. Negative. Of course, the dinosaur was the first prehistoric reptile on the planet, and it comes from E.T.'s experiment, so their origins are from the Draco E.T. race. The stagnation anchor right. Anchor right? No, anchor yellow. The stagnation anchor yellow. Yellow planes. Were you on about the planes of the earth or the planes of the universe? Yes. I don't even know what I just said there. It anchors, stagnation anchors yellow planes. So what is the yellow planes? The yellow planes, I believe, is the yellow planes the moon? No. Is the yellow planes the sun? No. So these are, yellow planes are planets? Yes. I don't know what planets are yellow. I'll have to look that up. It's just taken me to the eagle, and the eagle is it represents God's grip. They always go to spell out the word to me, grip, and grip is when the angelic realms or the beings that of light grip you, they've kind of got you in their grip. Is this true? No. Can any being grip, and could it be used for good and bad? Yes. Okay, so I can't remember what that just said. So it said chords grip. Did it say chords grip? Occult, transform, negative reading. Occult, transform, negative reading. No. Negative speaking. Yes. Chords. Right. Yellow. So the yellow chords grow. Grow the cycle of life in me. Yes. Just went to Y, and that's usually you. The chords. Okay, so we're talking about the chords of the stars. Yeah, so we're talking about Andromeda. Yes. Okay, got that. So Andromeda is a planet, and the energy encapsulates planet Earth, and it comes through the portal, which to us looks like the sun, but the sun is just a hole in the dome where the energetic chords are coming through. Sounds cookie, I know, but this is what I've learned so far. E.T. E.T.'s in Genoson? No. E.T. in Third Eye? Yeah. Orbit. Orbit around. Grow. Orbit around trees. Yep. Okay, it's just showing me. So what it's doing now is it gives me these certain signals, and they're like energy waves. Yes. And certain waves have a positive or negative effect on us. So when a wave kind of goes outwards into the centre, it's going to God. And when a wave goes from the centre outwards, it goes out to the universe. And then it goes either anti-clockwise or clockwise. And this is what they show me, and this is kind of what I have to work out. So depending on whether your life is cycling in a positive way or a negative way depends on the spiritual war that is going on, and which ETs are sending the waves through the portals to humanities to have a negative impact on them, because we are ET's experiment. When you look at when I spelled out the word extraterrestrial, it pointed to the words extra trials on Earth, or extra terris trial, and terris means Earth, so it's extra trials on Earth. So we are essentially an ET experiment. And by the way, the star people, the good guys and the star people, that's where we need to be getting back, because that's the angelic realms. Each star represents a soul, which is us. It's like a mirror image. Relationship, generational, negative. Yeah, so most of us will have generational curses in relationships, and we tend to choose the relationship that is just like us, or what we've been used to. So if your mother chose someone who is an alpha and expects everything, their husband expects them to do everything for them, it's likely that's because they've seen what their mother does, and they've seen what their mother does, so on and so forth. Now I'm not I'm not like a feminist. I don't consider myself a feminist, but I certainly look at things differently now. That I see what women and men, because both sexes have certain things that are unfair in life, where they are at a disadvantage. But certainly the curses that we put up with have been generational curses. Fragmented. Fragmented, is the word on there? No. Fragmented down. And then it's gone to the number 8. No. Are you talking about the eternity symbol? Sorry, the infinity symbol. Yes. So when you turn the number 8 on its side, it's the infinity. Infinity means no time and space. So are we looking at the infinity? No. Are we looking at the number 8? The number 8 and its meanings? Yes. I can't remember what it said, so fragmented. So in numerology, the number 8 is the number of abundance. So are you saying that abundance has been fragmented? Yes. Crystal, energy, positive, in me. Yep. Energetic, negative energy, in vampire. Are we talking about the bloodsuckers? Are we talking about the Illuminati? Negative energy in vampires. It's taking me now. I don't know what, I still haven't worked out the swirls yet. So negative energy in vampires create waves. Around the circumference, around the edge, it's just taking me to the edge, around the edge. A fallen angel, no, around the edge of earth, yeah. Did you mean to go to the fallen angel around the edge of sin? Okay, so fallen angel is sin, yes. By the way, obviously this reading, I didn't know where this was going, to be honest. It's not what I thought, it's not how I thought it was going to be, which is always very interesting because that helps me to learn more when it's a little bit more, I guess we just can't understand it because we want nice, simple, this creates this, this does this, because that's how we've learned. But when you look at things from a universal and cosmic perspective, as a whole thing, it kind of looks different. Trauma, anchor. Trauma's anchored in root chakra. Negative thinking. Negative thinking. Negative reading? No. Negative, did you get me to go to pink? No. Were you doing a symbol for me? Yes. Negative thinking. I don't know what that symbol is, sorry. You're going to have to train me in the swirls, because... Are you trying to take me to a wave? No. Are you trying to take me to a word on the table? No, you're trying to show me a symbol, aren't you? Yeah, but I don't know what it means. So negative, you're going to have to do it in language I and my viewers understand. Negative thinking. Did you mean to go to pink? Nope. You're showing me frequency, vibration. Negative thinking vibrates. Negative thinking vibrates. In the universe? Yes, negative thinking vibrates in the universe, specifically in the quantum entanglement quadrant. Yes. Okay, so gosh, this does get goofy. So quantum entanglement is, you can look at it from a scientific perspective, but it's when two energies create the same movement action, and it's like a parallel universe. So if one particle is moving, it doesn't create the same action. Does it create the opposite action? No, it creates the same movement in the universe. Okay, so that's from a scientific quantum physics perspective. And when you then look at what quantum entanglement means for us on Earth, is that quantum intelligence is used to have like a bird's eye view of everything. It's like the eagle or the owl can be used for either. The owl, the dark side, the eagle, God's creation. And there's like an energy grid that goes throughout Earth, and that's how we're all quantumly entangled. Our energies are quantumly entangled with each other. And when our thoughts get transmitted to people or energies that we are quantumly entangled with, it creates the same in them, basically. So if everybody's thinking in a negative way, that then vibrates to them. We all start thinking the same thing. And that's why if you notice, if you're around positive people all the time, you become positive. If you're around negative people all the time, you become negative. That's the energetic attachments of quantum entanglement. And that's why it's hard when you're quite a positive person in a very negative environment, that you don't fit in, and it's kind of quite soul destroying, because you just feel as if you're battling all the time against your own light, really. And of course, because lots of people live on Earth and there's lots of negative things that go on constantly, we're all sharing that negativity. And we're mostly doing it without even really realising that we're doing it. It's not a conscious thing. We're not meaning to be mean. It's just that we are having an experience. It's a negative one, and we're sharing that consciously and unconsciously with our entanglements and our attachments. And it's only when you bring things into your own awareness that you can start to change your thought patterns around things. In, soul, vampire, dark, Dark hole. Yes. In soul vampire in dark hole. Yes. When you say vampire, are you talking about blood? No, you're talking about the origins of the Illuminati. Yes. Yeah, they've said to me quite a few times about they've got a pit in their heart, or they've got like a dark hole in their heart. That's kind of, some people just carry around those wounds with them from their experiences. Trauma, wounds, darkness. The light, so white, anchors growth. This is quite interesting because about 10 years ago I had an aura graph done, and there was quite a lot of red energy. I was quite fiery at the time. I was a manager in an organisation, and it was quite a male dominated environment. It was very cutthroat, and I had a drawing done, and actually my aura came out exactly the same. I had this like blue halo outside of on the left side of my brain. I said, you're psychic, but you don't know how to access and use it. And anyway, when I started to wake up, I guess, I had another one done, and this time it was white. They said, you've got a white aura, that means that your cleansing process has almost begun. It has almost been completed. You've got Christ consciousness in you. Now, I did believe in Jesus Christ, but I didn't believe in him as a Bible story. I just believed that he was like an ascended master, and that's kind of an interesting video for another time. So yeah, and it just they basically said that my healing had been complete because I had this white aura around me, and that's when my psychic powers started to come through, and that's when I've started to have these changes in me that have I can't even describe how. Like, things have just naturally fallen away. I've had to put in some effort. I'm not saying that I don't have to put in some effort, but the effort that I used to have to put into trying to keep track of something or stick to something that I didn't enjoy was, it was demoralising because I've started diet, didn't really enjoy it, not really prolong it, and I've literally tried everything. I've tried everything to try to always battling with myself my entire life. And since I've started to do this work, it just is like I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm perfect all of the time, but the effort that I put in just seems to be minimal. It's like oh, that wasn't hard. It used to be hard. It's not hard anymore. And I think it's because I've just seems to have transformed at my core, really, and that's why I've done this, because I find it quite fascinating what's changed in me, what's different. I'm behaving in the same way, doing all the same things, but for some reason all of these good intentions I stick to, and they seem easy. They don't seem bad anymore. I don't have to battle against them. It's just phenomenal. I can't even, I want to do this work for other people because I don't know, it's just transformative in a really kind and gentle way. Relationship, generational, Draco negative. Negative darkness in St. David's Star. Did you mean to go to St. David's Star? No. Did you mean to go in Star? So are you saying that, is this specifically to me? No. Okay, I've got to work this out. I can't remember what it said now. It said, what did it say? Something generational. Was it trauma to generational? This is the thing. Something generational in Dark Draco, and then it's gone to, right, okay. So it's gone to St. David's Star. So are we talking about Jews? Yes. Is that what you meant by St. David's Star? Yes. Okay, so St. David's Star is associated with Jews. It can be good, it can be bad. It's used for different things. In this particular instance, St. David's Star, they are referring to the Jews, and this isn't to have a go at any Jewish people, by the way. But certain Jews, such as the Jesuit order, have been the slaves, I guess, of the ET species, or certainly the implementers of Draco. So Draco says balls, the Jews bounce and implement all of these laws and order and everything else, which has kept us enslaved, if that makes sense. So they're the link between the Dracos and humanity. And when you look into things, if you do go a little bit weird and conspiracy, you see that all of the world leaders, they are the people that go and have these pretend ceremonies in the Illuminati and worship Moloch. They do lots of disgusting things in these ceremonies, blood sacrifices. Can't even tell you what they do. It's awful. I mean, I've seen some videos and I've done some research using my dowsing, and it's just unbelievable. And the reason lots of people don't believe it is because it is unbelievable, but it does happen. It does happen. And it's all elitists and it's all world leaders. The people creating our laws, the people creating the laws to keep average human trapped and enslaved. Relationship generational. Draco. Darkness. Draco darkness negative? No. Draco darkness ET. Draco darkness ET. Were you doing a symbol to me then? Yes. Draco darkness ET. Cycles forward. Travel. Cycles forward. Is this in aeroplanes? No. Is this in spacecraft? Yes. This is only supposed to be a little video. I don't even know if I should upload this because I'm not sure if it'll make sense to anyone. It makes sense to me, but that's because I do this all the time and I've just learned so much. I haven't recorded everything simply because it's been a difficult learning process, but I'm telling you what I've learned so far. Yeah, it's crazy. People think I'm mad. I've thought I'm mad. I think now I'm definitely going mad. I think that's what ascension does to you. You ascend, you wake up, realise the truth um, of our existence, and you think I'm going into a mental asylum. It's crazy stuff. Soul, spells, positive, positive in genosia, no, positive in third eye, which is your intuition. Glands, the glands of Draco, no, the glands of humans is eaten by Draco, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, you want me to talk about the pineal gland and Draco? Yes. Okay, so we have in our third eye we have a gland that is the pineal gland, and that used to be quite large, and it connected us to source. Now, through our lifestyles, because our lifestyles are very chemical based, they're not very active, they're quite sedentary. Over time, with all of the chemicals and unnatural medications, air pollution, chemicals we put in our homes, on our skin, in our food, it has shrunk our pineal gland, giving us limited access to source and what's good for us. And that's a Draco implemented thing. So this is correct, isn't it? Yes. So has my pineal gland got bigger? No, my pineal gland is still small. Yeah, so how comes I can contact you? Sorry, I need the toilet, I'm going to have to pause. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so this isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. I wanted them to give me like a scientific explanation as to whether it's me or spirit that has, I know that it's spirit that's helped me, but obviously, like I say, they've pointed to a food, I can choose to eat it or not to eat it. What I'm kind of curious about is the fact that the demon would have, it seems to have disappeared, and I'm not sure whether that's my responsibility or their responsibility. That's what I guess I'm getting at. Okay, whose responsibility, or not responsibility, is it that I have managed to transform? Trauma and curses of the ET go away. Orbit, change, gems for me. Right, okay, now I've got it. Okay, I don't know what you just pointed to actually. So this is the trauma that I've held inside me has been transformed through the gemstones, my connection to spirit. It's kind of taken away. It hasn't taken away the experience. I still remember the experience, but I guess it no longer holds me hostage like it used to. And I think that's true actually. Physical vampire. Right? No. Yellow. Physical vampire. No. Physical blood. Yellow. Yellow. Are we talking about Andromeda? Yep. The rays of Andromeda has removed my fossil? No. They've transformed the fossil, and the fossil holds dark memory. No. The fossil is in the Earth's centre. I can't remember what you said before now. Do it again. Because when I first started to do this, they trained me how to use fossils and gems to create manifestations. And the fossil, I noticed over time, was the bad stuff. So it's like I take something away, and then you used the gemstones to put something in. So are we talking about the fossil removes? Yes. So the fossil removes the bad stuff. No, the fossil represents the bad stuff. Yes. Negative pineal gland in family. So negative intuition in family. Family, darkness. Clone, nope. You want about a bot? They treated me as a bot, nope. They cloned me. So family, clone, nope. Family replicate, yes. Family replicate. Change right, nope. Change, the rays of the sun change. The vampire in the pit of my heart, yes. Right, okay, because they did say to me that, this sounds so weird. They first said to me, Dion, trust the gems, and I could feel the energy, put them in the sun and hold them. This has been a long process, and I never felt energy off of gems before, but I activated them in the sun, and Andromeda is the planet, and like I say, it creates the rays. Gosh, how can I describe this? I can't remember where I was going with this now, so I've lost my train of thought. And then they said that they was sending me, I have a chart somewhere, and they said that they was sending me beams, okay? And this is just really, really, really crazy. But after I'd done kind of a lot of soul searching into my past and the way that I was treated, once they kind of got onto, you suffer from PTSD, and I started to look into it and look at, I contacted my mum and dad and looked into some of the sadness in that relationship. Where was I going with this? I can't remember what I was saying. It's just a blank now. I think, oh God, it's just a blank. Yeah, that's right. That's what I was saying. And they said that they were sending me energy beams, and no word of a lie, my body was convulsing with electrical currents, and I would just have all these electrical currents running through my body, and I was like, oh my god, this is really freaky. But at the same time, it wasn't scary. For some reason, I knew it was a good thing. And and from that moment on, as obviously we're voltage and we can only experience so much voltage, because the first thing they did tell me was you are voltage is dangerous, and in small quantities it's okay because the electricity is the transformation. And then weird stuff started happening to me, like my body would just like move. I mean, it's only happened like a very small amount of times. They don't do it all the time. They were just demonstrating to me that they had the power to like move my body involuntary from me. Like my body was just walking on its own without any voluntary any voluntary work from me. I was just like walking around in circles and squiggles, and I was like, what are you doing? It was just incredible. Using my body as a dowser. It's just incredible. I can't describe it to anybody, but yeah. Angels of light in Andromeda. Do you want this chart? No. You was about to spell beam. Yep, beam. Angels light beam. You just took me to pink. Yeah, beam love. Wounded. Draco. Generational. Wounded Draco is generational. Attachment. Yeah. Yeah. It has. And once you change it at source, everything else becomes easier. Honestly, things that I never thought that I would find easy have just become easy. It's like the trying has just been removed. It hasn't happened overnight. I've had to be patient and I've had to implement some things, but the desire to implement them has just been there. I haven't had to battle with myself to implement things that I don't like. Just kind of done it, and it's been easy to implement, which is something I've always struggled with. Energetic, healing, grow, positive, me. Yeah, this is so true. I don't know what parts I should upload and what parts I should keep. Obviously, this is really cookie stuff. It's a very long video as well. So I don't even know if I've got an app that can take the size of this video. But I just had to share my experience because I know that I'll be doing some of this work for others, because I want them to have the same experience that I've had. Obviously, they won't be dowsing every day, so they won't have like a spiritual coach on hand to help them with everything. But certainly, if I can create some change in people that gets rid of the negative entities that reside in their chakra system, and therefore in their DNA, if I can create, give them the right sound frequencies, the right advice on things that is appropriate for them to consume, things that is appropriate for them to listen to activities they can do, because ultimately we've all got different chromosomes, so not everything is right for every person. I've been encouraged to go vegan by them, but that doesn't mean to say that other people should be vegan. It depends on what their cycle is and their life path, really. It just happens to be right for me. And I've really, I eat a lot of calories. I don't eat loads of calories, but this isn't about calorie deficit because I use a lot of oil. They told me that I need to use a lot of oil, and literally I'm so generous with it. Extra virgin olive oil, everything, all my vegetables get cooked in lots of oil, and I'm so generous with it. So I know that I eat a lot of calories in oil. I probably am at a slight calorie deficit, but when I think of the amount of oil I use, I'm not that much of a calorie deficit. So I know it's what I'm consuming. The oil kind of keeps me satisfied for a really long time, so I don't really need to eat very often. I have like 2 meals a day, and one's a small meal, so I'll have like, I don't know, like today for example, this is a typical day for me. I had a vegetable omelette for breakfast, 2 eggs and 3 types of vegetables, cooked in oil, and then had a bowl of porridge at about 4 o'clock and a smoothie, and that's a typical day for me. I'll have a type of grain, be it a couple of slices of toast or some rice or some porridge and some cereal. I'll try to get in 3 to 5 types of fruit and vegetables a day. Mainly I don't eat fruit that much, it's mainly vegetables, and then I have some protein and a lot of oil. There's some other things that they suggest, like today I put aloe vera, a chunk of a plant, aloe vera, just cut it off and chuck that in my smoothie. I've eaten a spider plant before, because that gives you vitamin B12 apparently. They'll just point things in my kitchen, I just think, okay, I'll eat that. It seems to have done me loads of good. Have we stopped now? Yes. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I'm going to see what's appropriate to upload and what's not. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's made sense to you. I'm not sure it's made loads of sense to me. It has, but obviously I've had to do a lot of work to get to this point. So, ciao.